You are live, it says. Well, hello, everybody. Hopefully, we'll get everybody in here if there's anybody on. Doesn't show anybody, but we'll see. I'm also watching the video on the other side, so I wanted to see if it would show up there. Well, so since we have lack of attendance at this particular live stream, I thought what I would do is take advantage of the time to actually kind of show you how I make songs, the process, and each week I'll walk you through a little bit of it, and you guys can watch this later if you want, and they'll be available for you as you wish. So if you want to watch them later, they'll be out there as well. So I'm gonna start with showing you the software that I use, and we can do some work in there. Here, just a second. So this is the tool that I use. It's called Cubase. It used to be owned by a company called Steinberg, which Steinberg then sold it off to Yamaha. So Yamaha owns Steinberg. Steinberg owns Cubase. And I'm a big Yamaha guy, been a Yamaha guy since I was like 18, I guess. I bought my guitar, my primary guitar, because of Carlos Santana. And he played Yamahas back in the day. So I always liked him. Okay, so again, here is my dashboard. This is really hard to see. I hope you guys can see this at all. And we can start. The way I've got this broken out is that we have vocals, and this is a template. This is a template that I've developed that I use to start out with. So within my vocals, I have lead vocals and I have back vocals. Usually there's at least 3 back vocals, and I try to have at least 2 lead vocals. So that we'll get into more about this later, but I want to give you like the 10,000 foot level for a minute. Then we have drums. Drums are a little bit different, and I'll talk to you about those here also. I wonder if my voice is even coming through here. How the heck do I test that? Audio is going. It's fun. Good deal. Okay, so that's where we're gonna start here in a minute, just for a little fun. Then guitars, right? So I have bass guitars, which is the bottom end, and I have a simulator amplifier that I use for that, for the bass guitar, and then that's where I use the bass guitar. And then I have guitars. I usually have a left and a right. That's just the way I like to listen to my music. But you guys hopefully enjoy that too, since that's why you're here. And then sometimes, if I have a guitar on the left and the right, but there's something else I want to add, then I'll have something in the middle, maybe a lead guitar or something like that. So I have the left, the right, and the mid, and this fourth one I can use, or generally I just use that for recording the guitars. Then I have pianos, and we have bunches of pianos, but my favorite is the Ivory. It's called Ivory 2, but then I have a Grand from Steinberg, and then I have United Artists Grands there as well. And then we have the electric pianos. If you guys were from my time, 70s and 80s, electric pianos came out. They were pretty cool, and they got a lot of attention for a while. So electric's not bad. And then we have an organ. I just love to throw in an organ if I can make it sound right. Then we have strings. which are strings for the background if I want strings in there. And then we have a whole slew of synthesizers. And I won't go through each one of these, but each, they probably all do the same thing, just slightly different. But I don't know. They're just fun to have. It's like one of those things that you just can't have enough of them, I guess. I don't know. You just seem to accumulate them. And if I want to have any kind of percussion on there, say some sort of a shaker or bigger drum, something, yeah, I can always add drums into this percussion area. And then I have these things that I call multi-sounds. And so what this means is that within each one of these, I can have many different sounds. For example, if I click this one within contact, I've got all of these things in here. So there's another organ, some old-timey pianos, but here's my session horns, which I love, and some other things. Spitfire's kind of a neat little sound system as well. So that gives you an idea what multi is. So if within each one of these there are countless other sounds that I could use. But so I try to at that level try to package them up so that they're not otherwise they get unwieldy. I just sent off some stems to an individual to test mix it, and so there was 64 tracks in there, and so even though I don't use that many, they do start to add up. So I thought what we could do is just for fun, so that you walk away from this thing saying, "Oh, I got to see something," instead of me just showing you stuff. So what I'm going to do here is we're gonna put some drums in, just to give you kind of an idea of how things work. And so the way this works is this is a window of time. So each one of these would be, I can't even remember what they're called anymore. But 4 measures, right? So 4 over 4. Usually we do 4 over 4 quarter notes. Sometimes for most rock, pop, country, everything is generally 4/4. But the waltzes and a lot of country and sometimes rock with 6/8 do 4/3/4. But for this, we're just going to do 4/4, and let's start rather small. And so what we have here now, I know this is really hard to see, but now it breaks it down within the actual instrument. So there's a bass drum, snare drum, hi-hat, floor toms, and I guess I could hit these so you know what I was talking about. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell the system, the computer, where and how I want it to hit a note. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to go in here, and that is not what I wanted, but that's all right. Just to give you an idea of how this works, I place a note or a diamond on the place I want that to hit. So in this particular case, we're going 4/4, but I'm going over 2 measures. So there's 4 beats in each one, and I completely missed my doohickey. Let's go back here. So now that's what you're hearing is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And so when we start talking about country rock, whatever, we're going to throw in a snare drum here. Oops. So maybe that starts to get you where you're familiar with that sound. And So we can, what I wanted to do is make this a little smaller. And then we're going to put some hi-hats on here. There, now that we're starting to make some noise like you might be used to, right? And so what ends up happening is we often use two measures for what we might call a general bar. And so what we can do then here is, I need to get back to my other deal here. Now that we have this basic thing, I can grab that, pull it over here, and now I've doubled up. But so here, when we play music at the end of the first bar, if you will, we want to tell the audience or the fan, the listener, that we're going to be making some sort of a change, right? So after two bars, we come back in here. Yeah, I've been saying it wrong this whole time, so there you go. That we're gonna change up something. And so often, let's think about this as you know, you're going to do the first part of the measure, and then we'll go into maybe the chorus, right? And so what we're going to do is just do a quick, just something to tell the listener that something is coming. And you know, we got to do it in such a way that flows with the music and doesn't get out of hand. And I'm a drummer, so I know that we have to have a crash cymbal at the end of every measure, but it's the beginning of every actual measure. So we're going to put another one in here. Now what we're going to do is at the end of, I don't know who that is, but I hope that wasn't somebody who wanted to talk. So wonder why. Okay, well, that's a going. There we go. I wonder if it'll tell me if anybody's in here. So I'm learning this whole thing, folks. All right, well, we're going to move that over here again and get back to the music part of it. Okay, and so now what'll happen here is we are going to, let's say that we're going to move into the chorus. So then we're going to actually have to put in some sort of a fill pattern. We could do that with just snares if we wanted to. Something like that, I guess. And so we're just going to play around with that a little bit there. Folks, I am trying to figure out how to see who's on, because I don't know how to do that. Anywho, we're just going to keep going here, and then I'll just keep learning. Okay, so I know this is driving you crazy, right? Okay, so sometimes when I'm getting to a point, I can just loop over the last part. But what I wanted to share with you here is we're going to put in a drum fill here. And usually, you know, we got a high tom. So that's kind of. Now, if we go back, that's not exactly what I'm hoping for, but it'll work. See how it just then flows right back into it. We got to fix that. And that's why I do, you know, when I do my little stuff here. All right, but for now, that's going to happen. That's going to be fine. All right, so now we've got our one measure, right? So this is where the music is actually going to play over the top of this, right? And so the other thing that we have to do is we have to give ourselves a lead up to it, if you will, right? So the intro. And so what we'll often do is just grab this last section, move it to the front. Now, the other thing that I got to make sure that I do, I always give myself a measure of 8 beats to get ready to play. So I always make myself an 8-beat intro so that I can get ready to play when I get ready to play. And we'll see if that's up there. See how that worked like that there? Now we're in. Oops, but I didn't go all the way. By the way, this blue line up here is what's looping, if you will. So it's going through that and it just goes to the beginning again and starts all over again. So now we have essentially our basic drum track. Now what's fun is we can sometimes you get a little bored with the status quo, right? So that's basically that 1, 2, 3, 4, but we can play around with this thing, which is, you know, kind of fun. Since I'm a drummer, we can do that. But think about drums you might have heard, right? Now all we did there was add the bass drum at a precursor, and it just made the whole thing just fill out, didn't it? So pretty cool, huh? Now we've got it's the same tempo. We're still at 120, but now we've just changed the whole makeup of the song, right? What if we wanted to move, we could move this one back a half beat. Oops. This is what I kind of like to do. I think this is fun. So there's that. And we can make the whole darn thing that way too. little fun, right? So there you go. There's our drum track. The Eagles used to do something more like this, right? That's beginning. There, that's a simple one. Now, if we wanted to do the 70s disco, we can do this and put in. Now we have a whole nother different song, and we just changed up a little thing. Now, 120 is about, that's where I like to play. It's not fast, it's not slow, but you can take this up to 130. There's your disco stuff, right? You can, or we can take it the other way, take it down to do some slow blues. Now we've changed it again completely. We can even, if we wanted to, let's do triplets over the quad. This is going to sound a little weird. I have to fix some things, but that's nice right there. That's really nice. Oh, I can hear that, man. Yeah, it's there, man. Yeah, that'll work. You just get yourself a good beat going, and lots of things you can do. Like, I'm going to go long here, but what the heck? So we talked about down here. I have my percussion, right? And this is, again, it's just it's a MIDI tool, MIDI, and Vivek Raswamy, or whatever his name is, trying to call me. I'm not interested in that. Okay, sorry. And the drum, I just used some general drums for this particular fella. And then I can come in here and do the same thing. Whoops. Gotta fix something. What am I looking for? What am I looking? There it is, drum map. And so what I can do now is I can go all the way to the end of this feller. And I got a shaker down here. Oh, and did you hear that? Did you hear that little treat in there? There you go. There we go. So what I'm going to do is this is what I'm going to start doing every week if I don't get anybody else in, then I'm going to go ahead and record things like this. And so this is going to be song 10_8, and I'll explain all that to you guys later as we get into things too. But so I'm hoping I can get more of you to come and participate. I want to make sure that that everybody gets a chance to participate. So if you're interested in this, please come. We'll have some fun and we'll write a song together. We got a long way to go, but I think this will be a great chance to show you what we do, how I do it, and get to know you as well. So I'm hoping to see you guys next time. So with that, I will bid you adieu. So if there was anybody on the call, will you let me know? Because I'll try to figure out how to see people. Because I think that might just be me right there. Okay. Peace and love, everybody. Rock on. Bye-bye.